Today is Monday, March 23rd, 2020, and we're on lesson 11.4. Today we're going to be continuing our talk of strategies on how to subtract multiples of 10. And our target for today is I can use addition to subtract 10. So let's talk about some of the strategies we've already worked on so far. Can anybody remember our first strategy that we did? That's right. We used base 10 blocks, also known as place value blocks. So we used base 10 blocks. And another strategy, that's right, we used 100 charts. We used 100 charts. That is another strategy. And we're going to go over all of these strategies and how to use them again. And what was the last strategy that we used on Friday? That's right, we used an open number line, an open number line. So today what we're going to do is we are going to not only be using these strategies, but we're also going to talk about how we can use addition, which is what we did in the topic before, to subtract tens. So let's talk about these strategies here. Now the base 10 blocks that we used a straight line to represent tens and a dot to represent the ones. Now we're talking about subtracting tens, so we really didn't work much with the ones, but we did talk about how to subtract our tens. Such in the equation, for example, 30 take away 20, we said we could take the 0 off of the ones place and we would have 3 take away 2. And what is 3 take away 2? 1, that's right. So 3 take away 2 equals 1. And then we have put our 0 back in our ones place. So 3 tens take away 2 tens equals 1 10. So that's how we use base 10 blocks. Now let's talk about the next two, the 100 chart and an open number line. Let's think about the equation 70 take away 30. Let's think about 70 take away 30. Get that equation in your head. 70 take away 30. And we're going to use the 100 chart to solve that. So let's take a look at our 100 chart from the other day. There's our 100 chart. Now remember at the bottom when we're counting by tens and we're subtracting, what direction do we go? That's right, we go up because the numbers get smaller. When you subtract, the numbers get smaller. So we're taking away. So we are subtracting by tens. Now remember our equation was 70 take away 30. So where would we start to find the difference of 70 take away 30? That's right, we would start at 70. So here's 70. And then what are we going to do next? We're going to count up how many times? 3 times because 3 tens is the same as 30. So we start at 70 and we count up 1, 2, 3. And where did we land? 40, that's right, we landed on 40. So the difference in 70 take away 30 equals 40. Very nice. So that's how we use the 100 chart to solve 70 take away 30. Now, we already know the difference is 40, but how could we show that on an open number line? An open number line. Now, here's our open number line. Now, remember, I wrote our tens across the top, which is a little hard for you to see right there. There we go. So I wrote our tens across the top because, like I said, counting forwards by tens is pretty easy. Counting backwards, it may be a little easier if you have a visual reminder, something that you can see. So our equation is 70 take away 30. Let's see if we can fix that. Nice. So 70 take away 30. So where would we start in this equation? That's right, we would start with 70 because 70 is our whole. Yes, 70 is the whole. And then subtraction means that we are taking away. So which direction are we going to be going? That's right, we're going to be counting backwards. So we're going to be counting backwards. And how many times are we going to be counting backwards? 3 times because it's 3 tens. So are those going to be jumps or hops? That's right, they're going to be jumps. So because we're subtracting, are we going to start on the left side of the number line or are we going to start on the right side? That's right, we're going to start on the right side because that way we can count backwards. So we're going to mark our open number line and we're going to start with 70. Now, how many times are we going to jump backwards? That's right, 3 times, because 3 tens is 30 and we're subtracting 30 from 70. So let's make 3 big jumps. 1, 2, 3. Now, are we finished? Nope, because we have to figure out where we landed. So each of these jumps means we're counting back 10. We're subtracting 10. We're subtracting 10. So we started at 70, so I'm going to go up here and find the number 70. And I'm going to count back 1, 10. What did I land on? 60. So this jump is 60. And then from 60, I'm going to jump back again. That's right, I landed on 50. And then I'm going to jump back one more time from 50, and I landed on 40. Very good, very good. So 70 take away 30 equals 40. And you're like, Ms. Baker, I already knew that with the 100 chart. Yes, we did. But we also wanted to see if we could figure it out using an open number line, because guess what? A strategy that may be easy for you may be not so easy for somebody else. So we need to know different ways that we can solve a problem, because an open number line may be something you can use today, and maybe an open number line could be something you could use on an iReady test. You could draw that out, or you could draw out your base 10 blocks and do it that way. So whichever strategy you're comfortable with, whichever strategy gets you the correct answer is the one that you need to use. Now, with that being said, we are going to talk about a new strategy. Just like I said, our target is I can use addition to subtract tens. So we've already been talking about addition in the previous topic. So we're going to talk about how addition can help us solve subtraction, because addition is the opposite of subtraction. So if we look at 70 take away 30 equals 40, we're going to use this equation as our example. Now, in our previous lessons, we talked about how that the biggest number is the whole, right? So I'm going to put a W underneath that. And that means these other two numbers are the parts. That's right. That's the parts. Remember, we talked early in the year about a part-whole model. I'm going to draw a little one here. And it's split up into 2 parts. And this is a part, this is a part, and this is the whole. These 2 parts come together to make the whole. And so that is just what this equation is made out of, but it's written in a different order. In addition, you have the part plus the part equals the whole. In subtraction, you have the whole take away one of the parts equals the other part. So we're going to take a look at our open number line and see how that we can take the subtraction equation and turn it into an addition equation. So if we look at what I said here, and pretend we don't know 40, okay? Let's pretend that we don't know that one. And we know this part, and we know the whole. So that means we know that 30 plus something equals 70, because the part plus the part equals the whole. So we know that 30 plus something equals 70. Now in subtraction, we start on the right side and we hop backwards to see where we landed, because this number told us how many times to travel. Well, we don't know how many times to travel. So that's what we're going to be finding, but we know where we start and we know where we landed, but we don't know how many times it took us to get there. So in addition, you start on the left-hand side, and we're going to start with one of our parts, 30, and we know that we're going to land on 70, so I'm going to put that over here on the other end. And we're going to see how many hops or jumps it takes to get there. This ends in 0, this ends in 0 in the ones place. So I know that I'm going to be jumping because both of my numbers have a 0 in the ones place. So let's say how many jumps it takes to get to 70. So I have 30, and then I jump 10 more is 40. 10 more is 50. 10 more is 60. Are we there yet? Nope. One more is 70. So how many times did we jump? There's 1, 2, 3, 4. And since each of these are worth 10, it's 10, 20, 30, 40. So 30 plus 40 equals 70. So that means 70 take away 30 equals 40. You notice we have the same numbers that we're working with. 70, 30, and 40. We have the same numbers, so we're thinking addition. Think about those quick automaticity facts that we know. 3 plus 4, that is a near doubles because 3 and 4 are next door neighbors. So 3 plus 3 is 6, plus 1 more makes 7, and then add that 0 to your ones place, and you have 70. So use those quick automaticity facts that we've been practicing to help you think addition to solve subtraction, okay? So let's try another one. We're going to try one more. And let's say that we have, 20 plus blank equals 60. So let's think about what we know in this equation. This is one of our parts. So I'm going to put a P. And then we're missing this part, so we don't know that little guy. And then we have the whole. So we know where we're starting and we know where we're stopping. And both of these have a 0 in the ones place. So that means we're going to be jumping to get to our ending spot. So let's start on the left-hand side because we're adding. This is going to be 20. And then I need to get to 60. So I need to figure out how many jumps it's going to take to get me there. So if I jump one time from 20, what comes after 20? 30, that's right. So 30, am I there yet? Nope, got to keep going. Let's jump another time. What's 30 and 10 more? 40. Jump another time. What's 40 and 10 more? 50. And jump another time, and then 50 plus 10 more is 60. So let's see how many times that we jumped. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 10, 20, 30, 40. So 20 plus 40 equals 60. So what that means is a subtraction equation has the whole, take away the part equals the part. So we have 60, take away 20 equals, let's see if we can solve that one and get the same answer. So we're subtracting. We're going to start on the right-hand side. We're going to put 60, and then we're going to jump back 2 times. So 1, 2. Now, since we're going backwards, these are subtract 10, subtract 10. So what's 60? Count back 10. That's right, 50, because our 50s come before our 60s. Now, what is 50? Count back 10 more. 40, very good. So we landed on 40. So 60 take away 20 equals 40, and 20 plus 40 equals 60. Very nice. Give yourself a pat on the back and say, you did a good job. Awesome. Now, this is how we use addition to solve subtraction by subtracting tens. Now, be practicing these strategies. Use the strategy that best works for you. It may be open number line. It may be a 100 chart. It may be using base 10 blocks, or it may be using addition. So use the strategy that works best for you.